joining us here yet again on the Comic Culture Warrior video channel. We've talked about the top-selling books of June 2009, top-selling trade paperbacks, and we've talked about Blackest Night, the Green Lantern DC event.
Oh, it's actually Green Lantern number 43, which is the prologue to Blackest Night.
The prologue, to Blackest Night. The other thing of note that came out from DC last week was issue 1 of Wednesday Comics, the nostalgic trip through yesteryear when comics came on newsprint and you opened them like so. An all-star cast of characters and creators doing what has to be the greatest work ever with these characters, in my opinion, to justify the price. There have been, I've read, before we even start talking about this, I have read on some other websites reviews of the first issue of Wednesday Comics. There has been praise heaped on it. There has been some criticism. The most common criticism being, of course, the price point. This is $3.99,
which was our initial criticism like 2 months ago.
I've also
By the way, I love the fact that that people who every once in a while will get commenters commenting on our videos that we did like 2 months ago, but then when the product comes out, they jump down our throats because you know what I'm saying? Because someone's bitching that we were complaining about this. Obviously, we did it two months.
Yeah, it was like 2 months ago. We were talking about
and the guys are complaining about it. Like, how can you say this? But like, hey, asshole, we did the fucking shit 2 months ago. It was just our initial feelings on it. Now when you watch this, if you want to complain about it, complain. But and this happens every once in a while. Like, don't they ever look at the fucking dates when we like put these videos up? I don't know. People are fucking morons. Sometimes.
So, as another aside, you will notice a difference in responses to your comments as opposed to when I respond and when Mr. Melendez does. But in any case, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you, though. My initial, I really haven't changed that much in my stance on this from when we did that last, when we were talking about it. I remember we were saying, there are a couple things about this it came out better than we were expecting.
Yeah,
I mean,
because one of the things that I was talking about is like whenever they would, people have tried this before, like when you put it up on your racks, that since there's just newsprint and be flopping, but DC actually made it like small and compact enough and folded enough, and since the newsprint is a little bit,
it's a little thicker,
better than I expected it, so it did not fall off the racks for us here because the way that we have our racks here. So that was an initial criticism, and that was taken care of.
Right.
But I think that's the only thing that they actually surprised me with.
Yeah, because beyond that, while I'm not going to diss the creators are just doing their thing. They are doing. I mean, you look at some of this work. It's really good.
It's solid. It's all
solid.
beautiful stuff.
And the commenter said, "Well, when are you ever going to see Paul Pope on Adam Strange ever again?" Never. Well, you know what? I would like to see Paul Pope on Adam Strange again, or I would like most readers to see him at least once, but they're not going to because they're not going to buy this.
Yeah.
Because a lot of folks are going to look at this book and they're going to go, $4 for a cartoon strip? I mean, it's just the argument that we made even from the beginning is the pricing, regardless of how you want to justify it. Regardless, and I've seen all these crazy formulas being done online about, a 22-page comic gives you this much space per art, per this, per that, and then if you put that out to the size of this and that, these crazy... Okay, fine. The reality is, unless you go in thinking, wow, this is worth $4, you're not going to buy it. Now... I'm going to put a disclaimer. I'm going to just put a total, like a postscript on that. We'll see when the numbers come out. If people are really buying this thing up and like comic shops were just selling out everywhere. Or at least if the book sells consistently as it goes. I mean, I can see buying the first one just for the novelty of it, but are you willing to buy this every week for $4 a pop? that's going to be the proof in the pudding there. And I just say, you saw this thing for like really $2, $2.50,
right? Which is what we were initially talking about. That Dan DiDio was kind of hoping he was shooting for. He wanted this thing to be like $1 or $1.99. Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah.
But for $4, I'm sorry, you get good work. All right. First of all, every single story in here, for the most part, is the artwork is amazing.
It's amazing.
It's beautiful.
Yes.
And they don't have the talent that they have on here is phenomenal. All right. I'm not talking down the creators at all because everything in here is beautifully done. It's perfect.
Although there are some times when the print media itself lets them down.
That's here. Yeah. Unless you're using primary colors on this print, the colors get kind of muddy.
Right.
Especially the Wonder Woman one. It's bad enough that there's so many small panels on here, which lends itself to it just like looking all smushed. But the color palette that they use, it does not print well at all on this. And the Paul Pope one was my favorite one in here because it was just an awesome, fun story. The new Adam Strange costume that he designed, it's fucking beautiful. Mm-hmm. And again, this is the color palette that he chose, and it's very similar to the other one. A lot of purples. And I guarantee you that all of this stuff, when it's printed on better paper, it's going to look
spectacular.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what do we hear time and time again about Joe Quesada, why they're raising their prices on market? Because they need to have the glossy paper to make the computer coloring stand out.
Right.
Because if you don't, then it's a waste of money.
Right.
And on kind of here, you kind of see what he might be talking about because the computer coloring does not come off as well.
Yeah, but still, the kids lines that use the kids lines have a paper stock similar to this,
right.
And it looks pretty good. You just
but I'm saying
you're just limited in your color palette. I mean, if you want to be creative, then fine.
Exactly. Exactly.
So in either case, looking at Wednesday Comics. To me, my attitude, despite the fact that this is some incredible looking stuff, and we were expecting it to look good, we weren't saying that they were putting scrub talented on here and that this thing was being thrown together to be a piece of direct. We weren't saying that. We were just saying that for what it was. We were complaining about the
format, and we were complaining about the format.
Not even the format.
Not even the format, because part of the format, because the format. It's cool that somebody is doing something different in the industry.
Right.
And we gave DC all the props in the world for doing something different, which is fine.
Right.
But I'm not paying $4 for this.
The price point is
I will buy the collection when it comes out, and if I have to pay a little bit more than all these issues combined, so be it.
Right. So,
but I will support these creators and this book in a different format down the road.
And I'm just curious to see how the numbers are going to will play out as it goes. I expect the first one to sell out readily. Mm-hmm. Let's see if this number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. Let's see if the sales hold up. Because really, $3.99 for a weekly book, that's tough. That's really
a weekly book that's only like 16 pages.
Yeah, that too. So, all right.
And one thing that I don't think we ever mentioned, which people already know about, is that. The Superman strip is actually running in USA Today, which is awesome. Which is an awesome coup for DC to do that.
What are you gonna do? I mean, that's the way you do it.
No, we're talking a lot of good DC stuff today, or a lot of good things about DC. Usually, we just sit here and bitch and moan about shit.
Yeah.
Do we have a Marvel book we can review?
They get enough. They already run the market. They don't need our.
Yeah, we about 90% of our reviews are Marvel anyway.
And DC, yeah. We'll be back with. You're gonna love this, Mason. We're gonna talk about Batman.
Oh,